Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 25th. You have this Golem card. It says, a close friend acts on your behalf. You have this Earth card. It says, utilize logic, reason, and common sense. Yeah, sure. So I think we should always do that, right, Scorpio? But your first row here is going to represent your current general energies for the week. And you have the Judgment card, the Eight of Wands, and the Hangman. I do kind of feel like saying, like, don't hesitate on something. You know, this is clearly communication. Judgment is your higher self. This is your higher self angel trying to communicate with you. Eight of Wands is communication. I feel like this Hangman is like saying, you know, if you're receiving guidance from your higher self, and we'll talk about how in a second, but, you know, if you are, I would act on it. There's definitely something about, like, needing to act on, like, guidance that you are receiving. And, you know, that's what I feel with those cards. I also feel you could just be being pulled. You know, I'm pretty sure that over the past couple of months, maybe, I did a reading for you, Scorpio, where I was saying something about you being like a magnet, or it's like something is more magnetic, you know, in your life, or you're being magnetically drawn to something in your life. And, you know, literally could be anything. The Judgment card is your purpose, so it could have to do with your purpose or you know, something that you think is part of your purpose, right? And so if you are being magnetically drawn towards something, I would move towards it, whatever it is. You know, I would move in those directions because I just feel like it would be good for you. You know, I also feel it's time to answer the call for sure. You know, it's like, you know, part of the Judgment card is that these people are standing in these coffins, and the coffin is their old life, but outside the coffin is their new life. And so they're really being asked to step into their new life here. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, like quick success. Yeah, I definitely get this feeling of like needing to not hesitate with that Hangman for whatever reason. You know, as I always say, I never encourage anyone to like rush anything or, you know, to force something to work. That's not what I'm trying to say here. So I don't want you to think like I'm saying, oh, you have to rush something, you know, or you have to do this, right? That's not really what I'm saying. But, you know, I am kind of feeling like this is saying that you are going to feel, you know, pulled towards an opportunity, and you should take it. And like, don't wait around too much here, Scorpio. It's definitely popping into my head. And like I said, I'm not suggesting that you should do something dangerous or silly or anything like that. But, you know, I feel like, and this wouldn't be, you know, like I said, I think this is like an opportunity, like a work opportunity, or it could be something you've been thinking about starting. Like maybe you've been thinking about starting a business. And it's like, I can't tell you how many ideas I've lost because it's like I get excited about something, then I don't do it, right? So it's like sometimes I think we should capture that excitement a little bit and get started on something, because if we do, maybe it'll work, right? And that's kind of what's popping into my head here is like, maybe you're just getting excited about an idea, and if you would just start right away, it will probably work. If you don't start it, you're probably just never going to start it, right? And I kind of get that on this card. You have the Hangman again. For whatever reason, the first thing that I thought with the Hangman is don't wait. Now, I don't look at the Hangman as a card that says don't wait. You know, I look at the Hangman as a card of enlightenment. He has been waiting. He put himself on pause. And maybe that's why he's saying don't wait, because, you know, it's almost like the reading is saying that you already have more than enough information. You know, that's the whole point of the Hangman, is that his head is glowing because he's gained enlightenment. Like, there's nothing more for him to learn about a situation. He's ready to move forward. And so that's definitely popping into my head here with the Hangman energy, is that you are enlightened. I also do feel for some of you, like if you have been waiting for communication or clarity, like from a person, then I do feel this could be communication coming in for you, like whatever you've been waiting for. Here you go. With the Judgment card, you have the Sun, best card in the deck. You know, the sun shines a light on whatever card it's on. And so the sun is like a spotlight. The sun wants us to pay attention to whatever, you know, this is right here, Scorpio. So I would pay attention to your inner calling, or whatever this inner magnet is, whatever you're being magnetically drawn to. It'll probably lead to a lot of happiness. There clearly is a lot of happiness coming in here. We go to the Ten of Cups, which is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family. You know, this could be great for love. It could be great for friends. It could just be great for something you're dreaming about as well. Yes, with the Eight of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. It could be love that you don't want to miss out on. So again, if you like, especially for those of you that have a person on your mind, you know, and if this person like communicates with you or whatever, I would like take it for sure. Could be a Virgo. You've been all up in Virgo's business. Virgo's been all up in your business. You have the Hermit card here. So it could be a Virgo, it could be any sign. This is a general reading, Scorpio, but like I said, it could be any sign coming in for you. I just feel like I wouldn't necessarily wait on this one or anything like that. I also wouldn't say no. I cannot tell you over the years how many readings when I used to do readings for people, how many times I would do a reading for a person where they'd be like, this person I like asked me out, and I said no. Are they going to ask me out again? I'd be like, no. Like, why'd you say no? I don't understand it. And it was like, this was like a plague that happened, over the years, where it's like I had like hundreds of readings where people are like, the person I have a crush on asked me out, and I said no. Are they really gonna, step up and ask me out again? I'm like, no, you said no. Why would they? What do they have to step up for? You said no. That's your own fault. So again, don't say no, Scorpio. Don't tell this person you have a boyfriend or girlfriend if you really don't, right? It's like I've heard that one too. So, I would be careful. With the Hangman, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. Sometimes I do think with Judgment, again, they're standing in the coffin. The coffin is their old life. They do have to walk away from something. Their old life, right? So, and I'm not talking about love or business or anything like that. I'm talking just about something here. It could be anything. And, and sorry, if you... Someone out there, if you have something on the stove, I would go check your stove. I smell burning right now, and this is not me having a stroke. This is like more intuitive. So someone needs to pause the video and go check their stove right now. But there you go. But what I would say right here with the Eight of Cups is, and also the Judgment card, is that you could be walking away from something, a part of your past life or a part of who you were. And, this would be a good thing. Eight of Cups is a very good card right now. We have these two eclipses coming up in September, and Eight of Cups is the only card that has an eclipse on it. But it's just very good for removing things, that just no longer serve you. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says your dreams need a practical plan. You have this new moon of Leo. It says confidence is the key to your success. Yes, definitely. I think being confident would be a good idea. There's definitely a good amount of stuff about dreaming here. Page of Cups, Sun, Judgment, Ten of Cups, all showing up right next to each other, basically. The Ten of Cups, those people are dreaming of those 10 cups above their heads. But I always say that they need to do things to bring that dream down to earth. So, we'll talk about that more in a second. You have the Five of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. Yeah, I really think you should go for something where there is competition. It's kind of weird because to me, Pluto and Aquarius, like we have right now, is the beginning of co-creation. Like we are entering into a time of co-creation. So I'm not saying that you have to take part in any competition. It's not like you have to, be part of the competition. But I do think it's an amazing time to study competition right now in any area of your life, work, business, career, health, whatever. It's a great time to study the competition and see what they're doing, what you're not doing, and try to fill in the gaps or come up with some answers. So I think it would be a great time for you to do that. You have the Ten of Cups. So number one, amazing for love for those of you that want it. Definitely could be a very solid connection coming in for you. For those of you that want it. Ten of Cups is also like fortune after difficulty, Scorpio. I definitely think Scorpios have had maybe the hardest time lately out of all the water signs. So, over the past several years-ish, kind of. And, so just some difficulties. And I do feel like you're kind of finally coming out on the other side of that, which is great. I definitely don't think things are perfect, but I think things are getting better. I'm getting a lot on this Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups can be your dream. So, like I said, you need to bring your dream down to earth. That will lead to the most success. And so to do that, you just have to take one step towards it, whatever your dream is. And it could be something small. You don't have to go crazy here, but I would do something. The other thing is I am getting a lot of people here. I do think it would be a great time for you to form new connections or new relationships with people that could be very supportive. And, I would do that for sure. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. So the Nine of Wands can, he has been through a lot, like I said, like you have, and he is not giving up. So the whole point of the Nine of Wands is to not give up on whatever it is that you're working on or working towards, because that will lead to the most success. So I definitely wouldn't give up. The other thing is I think that it's a really good time for people to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. We are kind of in this time of experimentation where I think anything that we want to accomplish or do, we have to be willing to try multiple ways to get things to work. We have to be open to all ways there are of getting something to work. And if we are open then we will probably discover better ways of doing things, which will lead to more success. With the Five of Wands, you have the Moon card. So we do have the Sun into the Moon. I'm not the biggest fan of the Sun and the Moon together like this in reading because it can kind of represent like two people who have like too many differences. They're just too different. And so, some of you could be dealing with that in like a past connection. It's kind of weird. It's popping into my head here, Scorpio, that if you're dealing with like a baby mama, baby daddy type of drama thing, but I also feel like those two cards are saying like, just realize that they're different, you're different, and just try not to create drama. It's almost like the Five of Wands is saying to me that you should be avoiding conflict. I know that can be hard, but it's like if you can just let things go, that would be good if you're in a situation like that. For others, I think you're making a bigger, like again, this is work or business related. I think you're making a bigger, it's almost like you're putting the competition on a pedestal, Scorpio, is what I feel. And I feel this is saying, no, you're the sun, not the moon. It's like you need to realize that you're more powerful, if there is competition, right? Yes, with the Ten of Cups, you have the Empress. So the Empress says you are very attractive at this time, Scorpio. If you're looking for love, I would definitely put yourself out there. I feel like there could be a lot of attention and, people coming in for, clearly, Ten of Cups. I consider the Ten of Cups to be a great dating card as well. So, like I said, you could just be attracting a lot of people into your life. I also feel that things are getting easier. Now, again, that does not mean life is going to be easy. It just means easier than it has been. So it means improvement, but it also means that tarot does nothing for you. You have to create these improvements, right? So you have to do things. She looks for ways to make things easier. Does that mean her life is easy? No. She looks at places, she finds all the places in her life that create friction, where things slow down, and she smooths them out. Now, some things she will not be able to get perfect, right? So some things maybe she can only improve 1 or 2%. Other things maybe she can improve 100%, right? And so overall, when collectively, if she looks at her life and she makes all these percentage improvements, that when you add it all up, it adds up to a pretty big percent, right, of an improvement. So again, I think it is a great time for people to do this, but it's coming up for you. So I would be looking at making those improvements. Clearly, you're very attractive at this time, Scorpio, so I'd be getting out there if I were you, if you're like looking for love. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, total fulfillment. I think you need to not give up on something that will bring you fulfillment, especially in work. I get this feeling here, pretty much from the entire reading, that some of you are working towards or have been trying to get something to work better. It's like I think it's taken a while, but I think you need to keep. I think you need to not give up. I think you need to keep going here, Scorpio. And, things take time, and really, I know it's cliche advice, but it's true. Sometimes you just have to not give up. Next, we're going to look at messages from your future self. You have this Freedom card and this Patience card. Yeah, I think you're about to be set free, basically, in life. I think you're about to feel more free as well. I would be patient. I definitely feel don't give up on something at this time here, Scorpio. It's kind of funny. It's like I'm not picking on anyone here, right? I'm not judging this person, but another tarot reader, they left me a comment saying, that they have had their channel for like a year, and they were looking for advice, and they're like, I've been posting, but the algorithm is ignoring me. But when I looked at their channel, really, again, I'm not picking on this person. I told this person exactly what I'm saying right now. I said, really, I'm like, they were posting very inconsistently, not very frequently, and all this other stuff. I'm like, tarot is very competitive. It's like you're competing against people like me. I post 96 full-length readings every single month. I do all 12 signs twice a week. So, it's like you have to be consistent. You have there were a bunch of things they weren't doing, right? And so it's like sometimes I think we can think that we're doing the right thing. And again, I'm not criticizing anyone here. I've done this in my life and other areas of my life as well, where it's like I think I'm doing the right thing, but really I'm not. And, but again, that's where not giving up comes in. I think this reading is saying you're doing something, Scorpio, and I'm not saying you're doing things the wrong way either. It's like, but maybe maybe it's just as simple as not giving up. Sometimes I think that's it. Sometimes we just have to not give up. Sometimes we have to learn new skills and things like that. But I think you're very close to being set free, which is good. You have the Hermit, Virgo. I don't know. You spy on Virgo. Virgo spies on you. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. I call you out in every single Virgo reading. I do the same thing to Virgo in your readings as well. So I don't know if this is like you're into a Virgo, they're into you, and you're just ignoring each other or what. So that's definitely a possibility for some of you. For others, I feel like it's time to shine your inner light. For all of you, I should say, the whole point of this card is that he's been through the dark night of the soul, and he has earned his right to be able to shine his inner light. It's time for him to shine. And so I kind of feel that for you here, Scorpio. It's time for you to shine. It's not time for you to be in the moon mode. It's time for you to be in the sun mode. You have the Two of Wands. Yeah, you're probably going to have to do this by stretching. It's like sometimes I think the Two of Wands is us kind of like, reaching out. He's got this wand behind him here, right here. The whole point is that wand stands on its own. It's something that is complete in your life. But sometimes I think the Two of Wands, that we can be grabbing backwards, like, we can be a little bit back here and also trying to, monkey branch to the next thing. But basically the card says if you would just let go of the past, you'd be able to take that next step much easier. And that's kind of what I feel with the Two of Wands. It's like saying you have the whole world in your hands. You just have to reach forward. You have the Two of Swords. I think this is a very common energy that all of us are thinking this or that right now. We're in old world energy, I believe. And again, this is just a crazy conspiracy theory I have. This is not necessarily intuitive, although I have over the years had intuitive messages about this, that we are in the new earth. We just have to realize it, and we have to fill it with our good ideas. And what we're experiencing is empty space. I think a lot of people are feeling weird and off and all this other stuff, but really it's none of that. It's just we haven't filled this new world with good ideas yet. And I think that's what we have to do. And so don't be afraid of like experimenting, trying new things, trying different things in life. Yeah, with the Hermit, you have the Eight of Wands twice in your reading. So it's like once you start shining, things will move forward very quickly. The Eight of Wands is quick success, quick conclusion, something happening quickly in your life. But the thing about the Eight of Wands is we have to, with the Hermit, is that you have to shine to make this speed happen. The other thing I always say about the Eight of Wands is that this is my card of creating a slip and slide in life. It's about looking at those places in your life that slow you down and saying to yourself, how can I speed this up? How can I remove friction? And, again, if I were you, Scorpio, this is like the only thing I would focus on this week is I would be finding places in my life that slow me down and thinking, how can I speed this up? And it's not necessarily about speed. It's really about like efficiency and smooth and making things smoother, right? With the Two of Wands, you have the King of Swords. Yeah, it's like you don't know everything. And again, I'm not calling you out when I say this, but it's kind of funny that it's popping into my head that way. Scorpio is like, Two of Wands. He's reaching out. He's got the whole world in his hands. But, the whole point of the Two of Wands is that he thinks he knows exactly how something is going to go. So that's why, sometimes the Two of Wands can say that he's hesitating a little bit on a new opportunity because, he rushed to a finish line. That's the story of the card, is that he rushed to finish this castle and he didn't enjoy the process. He didn't enjoy the journey. And, the whole point is that he doesn't realize that there's this whole wide world of new things that he could experience, but he has to go and do it. And so I feel that for you, Scorpio, where it's like there are like a lot of new opportunities that you could go and experience, but I think you have to do it, like go and do it. With the Two of Swords, you have the Devil. Everybody's had the Devil. It's really weird. The Devil came up a lot in the bonus readings I just did last weekend. Those videos will be linked up at the end of this one if you want to watch it, if you didn't already. I don't remember if you had the Devil or not, but in the August readings and the July readings, pretty much everyone has had the Devil. And so I think that we all are... we are all maybe seeing certain devils in our lives that we need to let go of. Now, devils don't have to be people. Devils are, to me, the devil is just an energy vampire. It can be anything, a person, a place, or a thing, or an addiction, or a belief system, or a blockage that is stealing your energy, right? And so, it seems to me like maybe even... I would say until the end of the year. I think it would be a good time for all of us, maybe. I would actually say until like March of next year, really. This is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. I think we're being given a good amount of time to clear out garbage, right? Things that are stealing energy. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this masculine energy card and this patience card. I feel like you have been very patient, but again, how crazy is that? You have two cards of patience. I didn't even realize that. You have this patience card here, and then you have this one here. I think you need to not give up, though. I said that. So I think it's definitely time to like not give up on something here, Scorpio. I don't think it's so much patience, because it's not like the reading isn't saying to me this is going to take a long time. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like that type of patience. I think it's saying you have been patient and you need to not give up. You have the Queen of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the High Priestess. Queen of Cups, sometimes I read as you. Most people read her as Cancer. I've always read her as you or Cancer, really. Mostly because of the cat black version of the Golden Tarot is the Queen of Cups is Scorpio, but whatever, could be you. Could be any water sign, at all, period. So doesn't matter. But the important thing here is that this could be you showing up in a strong position. Could also be that it's time for you to follow your heart. I always look at her as a card of like very strong heart-based energy. She really values her heart above all else. And so there you go. I think you need to value your heart. You have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups can be a turnaround. Six of Cups can be a soulmate, number one. Yeah, if you're attracting love, this reading looks really good. It is a really good time for love, though, as I have been saying to water signs, because of Jupiter in Cancer. That is going to benefit all water signs more than everybody else, for the most part, kind of. And so, again, if you want love, it's just a good time, I think, for love for water signs. So, definitely could be a soulmate. Sometimes I feel like this card can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive from this card is a turnaround, meaning we've been bumping up against an obstacle, and when this card shows up, we can be removing the obstacle, or we can be overcoming the obstacle, and I do feel that some of you could be like overcoming some sort of obstacle here. Next, you have the High Priestess. Definitely time to trust your intuition, for sure. It is a very intuitive time for water signs, so I'll say that. It's also a time of potential for water signs, and the whole point of the High Priestess is that she has no roof over her head, which represents unlimited potential. There are no limits to what she can accomplish. The only limit is right here, right between her two ears, right? So basically, if you set your mind to something, you could accomplish your wildest dreams right now, but you're going to have to like really put the work in and make it happen. With the Queen of Cups, yes, you have the Nine of Pentacles. I'm telling you right now, I think this is true for everyone. But, one thing I would say is Empress energy, right? The better we take care of ourselves, the better result we're going to get. So Nine of Pentacles is independent energy. But the Empress, she really values herself. She is the card of self-care as well. So I think the better and more you care about yourself, the better results you're going to get at this time, Scorpio. I mean, really, that's what the card is saying. The other thing I would do is practice gratitude with the Nine of Pentacles. So, she is the card of gratitude and luxury. So the more we are grateful for what we have in life, the more likely it is that we will get more things to be grateful for. And it's just that simple. And, that's what I would do with that card. With the Six of Cups, yes, you have the Nine of Swords, which is showing up in the good stuff. This would be good. This would say that you are ending some sort of negative cycle here, Scorpio. The Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare, but, showing up in the good stuff, it would say that you are probably either taking control, but I literally said that on the Six of Cups, that it represents a turnaround. So there could be some sort of like, turnaround or some sort of benefit. With the High Priestess, you have the Strength card. I feel like you've been waiting for something. You have this card over here. It says confidence is the key to your success. The Strength card can be a card of developing confidence. She is working on herself on the Strength card. The Lion on the Strength card represents her inner voice, or her inner critic, her inner demons, but she's the one that's taking control. So, confidence, number one. Number two, I think if you've been working towards something for a long time, you could be getting those results. You have this Dark Woman card that says dealings or relationships with women with dark complexion or hair. You have this Door card that says opportunities are waiting for you. So there could be a person that's helping you attract opportunities or bringing opportunities to you. This could also be you. You don't even have to be a woman. I'm reading for a billion of you, so it could be anything. You could be any gender. And I think this could be just saying that there are obstacles being removed. You have this Eagle card that says triumph over obstacles. Are you kidding me? We said this in the reading with the Six of Cups. I'm also noticing you have this V card. It says victory in some endeavor. So, clearly the end of the reading specifically was talking about, that last row there, and the good stuff was talking about you overcoming an obstacle. You have this force that says muddled, unclear thinking. Yeah, Uranus and Gemini. Uranus and Gemini is like a little bit of a weird electric energy, but I think it can make our thinking a little bit more scattered. It can make the organization of our thoughts a little bit more scattered as well, which isn't necessarily bad. It's like, imagine if your brain is trying to make new connections. That takes time. And that's Uranus and Gemini. It's like, imagine the collective being the brain, right? It's like trying to make all these crazy new connections in the world. And so it's like we could be feeling that energy personally. So, I don't know. It's just like, it is what it is. You have this victory in some endeavor card. So clearly some sort of victory coming in. And you have the seahorse that says Family Matters, Ten of Cups, Empress. Very good for spending time with people who really lift you up, who care about you, and also you doing the same for them. But people who are returning the favor, of course. So, this looks really good here, Scorpio. I love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.